I have something here that I know will make a difference for you. 3 concrete things you can do to supercharge your business through better language. People don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill. They want to buy a 1/4-inch hole. Master the language of leadership. Offer a vision of what life can be with that product. Show up with better language.
On my face, may not go my way. Still got my face, so I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
In the same way that I studied and I wanted to be successful in ball is the way that I want to be successful in finance, right?
I love that.
What's up, family? Tony the Tycoon here, and today we're tackling something that, if you truly understand it, will change the way you sell, the way you lead, and the way you live. Welcome to Insure Legacy, where we focus on building from purpose-driven alignment and not just product and sales. Again, I'm your host, Tony the Tycoon. Thank you so much for joining me and spending a little time with me today. Now, let me ask you something. If I took away every lead source you had today, every marketing tool, every script you've memorized, could you still win? Could you still walk into a room, open your mouth, and create opportunity with nothing but your words? In the world of sales, whether you're in insurance or whether you're in real estate or you're running your own business, regardless of industry, most people think success comes down to leads, products, or closing techniques. And yes, those things do matter, but what I've discovered is they're not the foundation. You see, the real foundation is the language you use, not just what you say to your clients, but also what you say to yourself. We're talking about your inner and outer dialogue. That's the thing that sets the stage for every deal. And I learned this the hard way earlier in my career, guys. Listen, I chased everything, every sales tactic under the sun that you could think of, the scripts, fancy tricks, fancy technology, thinking that these tools would be the things that would make me successful. But none of that works if your language is working against you. If you're telling yourself things like, I'm not good enough, using words like, well, this, or maybe, or it kind of, you're undermining every single effort that you're putting into the marketplace. Guys, have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have a way with words that makes you want to listen, but not only want to listen, you kind of just trust them a little bit because the way they sound? That's no accident. They've mastered the language of leadership as well as influence. They speak with purpose, and you can too. One right phrase can open a door, and one wrong one can close it and shut it just as fast as it was open. So if you stick with me until the end, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 3 specific things that will supercharge your business immediately. Small word, big meaning, if you apply them starting today. Guys, these aren't theories. They're proven principles and strategies that I use myself as well as my coaching clients. In this first segment, I want to break down something that I like to call the blueprint. Let's start where I always like to start, with truth that's been here long before any sales manual or coaching program. We're going back to the Bible. And that's going to give us some timeless wisdom on words. I love what it says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18. It lays it out beautifully. It says this. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Guys, think about that. Have you ever thought that your words are seeds? And guess what? If your words are seeds, that means that every seed produces fruit. So if you love the power of the tongue, meaning if you respect and harness it, you're going to eat the fruit of what you plant. In other words, your conversations today that you're planting in reality will allow you to live like you want to tomorrow. I'll say that again. Your conversations today that you're planting in reality will allow you to live like you want to tomorrow. So if you speak fear, you'll grow hesitation in yourself and also in your clients. If you speak value, you'll grow opportunity and trust. It's inevitable. You reap what you sow with your words. Just like planting apple seeds yields apples, planting confident words yields confident outcomes. You know, Jesus doubled down on this thought process in Matthew. He said, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Guys, that's not just a spiritual truth. It's a practical reality. In sales, the words you use can acquit you or convict you in the eyes of your clients. We've all seen it. One rep talks themselves right out of a deal by saying the wrong thing, while another one seals the deal with a single reassuring sentence. So it's no wonder the Bible compares the tongue to a tiny rudder that steers a giant ship. In the book of James, it says something to the effect of a small shift in your language can completely change the direction of your result. You say a few careless words, you can crash the ship. But if you speak the right words, you're going to guide it to the destination of success. The bottom line is this: words frame your reality. The language you use sets the boundaries of what you and your client believe is possible. If you start a meeting saying, I don't know, man, it's a long shot, you've already planted doubt. But if you declare and decree, I have something here that I know will make a difference for you and your family, you've planted a seed of confidence. One of the things that I've been doing, guys, is I've really been getting into the psychology of language in sales specifically. And I've been floored by the results. Psychologists have studied this for decades, the power of language on decision making. One famous breakdown by Dr. Albert Meridian suggests that the meaning of your communication comes from 55% body language, 38% tone of voice, and 7% of actual words. Now listen, I know you guys hear that and some of you guys might be thinking, so then words barely matter then, right, Tony? Wrong. In sales, those 7% can be the difference between a deal and a dead end. In a critical moment, the wrong word in the wrong place can close a door just as quickly as the right word can open one. The Bible says that the right word fitly spoken is like silver upon a painting of gold. It stands out. And often in sales, whether on a phone call or Zoom meetings, text messages, or even emails, words are all you have. And they carry a lot of the weight. Think about if you were telling a client, I'm hoping this works for you, versus saying, I know this will meet your needs. The first one might sound polite, but it plants a seed of doubt. It's like you're not sure. But see, the second one, it radiates confidence. It tells the client you believe in your solution. The same situation, two approaches. One invites hesitation. The other inspires trust and confidence. And it's not just about confidence versus doubt. It's also about how you frame information. Say you're explaining a policy result to a client. If you tell a client this plan has a 90% success rate, they're likely going to feel good about it. But if you say, well, there's a 10% chance that this might not work, they're probably going to get worried, right? And even though 90% success and 10% failure describe the same outcome, psychology calls this the framing effect. The facts haven't changed. They're still the same, only the language around them. Yet that change in wording can make a customer either comfortable or cautious. So be mindful the way you phrase your message can be the difference between agreement and objection. It's not just about what you say to your customers. It starts with what you say when you're alone. How are you speaking to yourself? Obviously, in the psychology world, they call this self-talk, and it can make or break your performance. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm just not good at cold calling, I'm not really good at sales, I don't know if I can make it, no one wants what I'm offering. If you say those particular things, guys, you're programming your brain to fail. Your mind will find ways to prove you right. That's called self-fulfilling prophecy. But look, there's a flip side. And on that flip side, if you start telling yourself, every day I'm getting better and better, there are clients out there who need me, need my service, they need my solution, then you begin to act with that confidence. Your brain will work to align with that story you're telling it. In essence, your subconscious is always listening to the words you feed it. Give it fear, give it negativity, and it'll hand you more fear and more negativity. However, subsequently, if you give it ambition and optimism, it will drive you towards success. I've seen this play out with people I coach. Give you an example. I had a new insurance agent on my team. This person struggled with appointments. He used to actually tell his prospects, maybe we could possibly save you some money if that sounds okay. You hear all that uncertainty? Maybe, possibly, if you're okay with it. They sensed his doubt and they just brushed him off. So what we had to do is we had to change his language. That's the one thing that we tweaked. We removed the weak words and had him practicing saying things like, I'm confident we can save you money and improve your coverage. Let's schedule a time to prove it. That simple change from wishy-washy to bold transformed his results. And you want to know the cool thing? Within the next few months, his appointment rate doubled. It was the same person, the same services, but new words that created new outcomes. This is the psychology of language at work. Words aren't just words. They carry beliefs. And you know what those beliefs carry? Emotions. And people feel that. Your tone matters. Yes, your body language does too. but your choice of words often triggers an emotional response. The best salespeople choose words deliberately. They avoid trigger words that cause resistance and use empowering words that create agreement and, most importantly, alignment. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is your words are the architect of your outcomes. You build wisely because you live in what you speak. Let's talk about how this relates to business and athletic examples because, I was an athlete. So let's talk about someone who mastered the art of intentional language in business. Steve Jobs. Jobs didn't just launch products, he launched visions of the future, man. When he introduced the iPod in 2001, he didn't just say, it has a 5 gigabit hard drive. What he said was this: we're putting 1,000 songs in your pocket. Guys, in one sentence, he painted a picture of how your life would change. That phrase made you imagine carrying your music library with you anywhere, anytime. It wasn't about the gadget, it was about the experience. He used words to shape how people saw the product. And it worked because suddenly the iPod wasn't just a music player, it was a lifestyle revolution. In sports, I want you to think about who I believe is one of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Ali was known as the greatest, and he made sure everyone knew it as well. He famously declared, "I am the greatest." He said that even before he knew he was. That's so powerful. Because when he said that, he wasn't bragging. He was cementing his identity with his own words. By constantly affirming his greatness, he conditioned, hear him out, he conditioned his mind and even his opponent's minds as well to believe it. That's language shaping identity and identity shaping performance. Ali spoke like a champion, so he acted like a champion and ultimately became a champion that the world will never forget. Guys, this isn't just about famous figures either. I promise you that. I've lived this for myself. For me in the NFL, I experienced this firsthand, how language in a huddle could change the momentum of a game. All right, rock with me right here. Lean in. Picture this. We're down in the fourth quarter. The team is exhausted. We're drained. Little doubt is starting to creep in, right? Our quarterback walks in and he steps up and he says this. He says, listen up, guys. We're good. Train too hard to lose. One play at a time is all we need. Y'all follow my lead. We're going to finish this thing strong. And then what happened was amazing. Suddenly the energy shifted. Those words ignited something in every player. So now we line up and there's a new fire burning within us and we execute the plays with confidence and boom, we turn the game around and we get a victory. Guys, I've seen how a few powerful sentences can erase fear and replace it with fire and fight. The same applies in sales. Your language sets the emotional climate for every interaction. If you walk into a client meeting saying, well, things are really tough lately, you cast a shadow over the conversation. But if you start with, I'm excited about what we're going to do together. I cannot wait to get going with you. You set a positive, proactive tone. And your client feels that enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious, and so is doubt. So I need you to be the thermostat and not the thermometer. Set the temperature with your words. Don't just reflect whatever the mood is in the room. Let's bring this back to you. What vision are your words painting for your clients each day? Are you just giving facts, or are you telling stories that gets them excited? The best in the game use words to elevate conversation. They don't sell insurance. They sell peace of mind. They don't offer a product. They offer a vision of what life can be with that product. We're going to dive deeper in that a little later. Whether you're rallying a team or you're closing a sale, your words can either spark a comeback or they can pave the way for a tremendous defeat. I want to talk to you guys quickly about the legacy connection. Guys, look, language doesn't just affect a single sale. It can affect your legacy. Over time, the things you say and how you say them become a signature that people remember you by. Your reputation in business is essentially the collection. This is so good. The collection of conversations that you've had, the promises that you've made or broken, and the value you've delivered through words. What you say consistently is what people will remember you for. Think about it. If every time someone deals with you, you're positive and solution focused, that becomes your calling card. If every time they talk to you, and you're coming in and you're being pushy, guess what? That sticks too. I mean, guys, you've seen it. People coming in, let me say you this, let me say that. They know it's not genuine. And another thing, if you're known for overpromise, over-promising and under-delivering, that's your legacy. And that's one that you don't want. But if you're known for speaking truth and delivering value and casting a vision, that's also your legacy, and it will outlast any single transaction that you have. You get to choose which one of these legacies you build, one conversation at a time. Will your client say, he'll tell you anything to get that sale, you need to watch out? Or will they say, she's always going to shoot you straight, man, but I tell you this, she genuinely cares and she wants to help? The answer lies in the language that you use habitually, because you're looking to create covenant connections. I'll give you a quick example. I once had a mentor in this business who was known for one simple phrase, guys, and I'm laughing at it now, but let's make today great. Every single meeting, this guy came in and he started with those words, let's make today great. Now look, I get it. It might sound corny, but guess what? It set a positive tone for the whole team. And years later, when people talk about him, they still quote that line today. Let's make today great. Why? Because that constant uplifting language made them feel encouraged day in and day out. That was his legacy, carved out by the words he chose to speak on a consistent basis. There's a famous saying, people may forget what you did. They may even forget what you said, but they will never, ever forget how you made them feel. And nothing makes people feel more deeply than the words you speak to them. Did your words make them feel respected or manipulated? Were they inspired or were they discouraged? Those feelings become memories, and those memories become legacy. The Bible gives us a great guideline for lasting positive legacy in Colossians 4:6. It says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Grace and salt. When I think about this, what is grace? What does this mean? It means your words come from a place of kindness and patience and respect. Seasoned with salt, what does that mean? It means don't let your conversations be bland or empty. Add value and wisdom and truth that leaves a lasting taste in people's and your client's mouth. And when you speak with grace and add that salt, you create conversations that people don't forget. You see, they walk away thinking, wow, man, that was different. I feel encouraged and enlightened, and they'll remember you for that. In short, your language can make you either just another salesperson or a trusted advisor whose words people carry with them. Speak as if you're writing your legacy with every sentence, because in many ways, guys, you are. All right, now it's action time. I promised you 3 concrete things you can do starting today to supercharge your business through better language. Now, these are simple, but game-changing if you actually do them, right? They gotta be action to it. Number 1, guys, you gotta audit your language. Take a good, hard listen to yourself. Record your sales calls or presentations and play them back. What words and phrases are you using? Are you speaking from fear? Or are you speaking from authority? Are you apologizing when you don't need to? Or doubting your own product with phrases like or maybe or kind of? Identifying these habits is the first step. You might want to say something to the effect of, does that make sense? After every statement. Unintentionally, what you're doing is you're signaling doubt. Or maybe you downplay your offer by saying, hey, this is just a thought. Listen for those cues. Have a mentor or a colleague listen to and get feedback. Once you know where you're at, you can start making changes. Number 2, guys, this is important. You gotta replace the weak words. Now that you know your go-to weak phrases, swap them out. Words like I think or I hope or maybe or just or possibly, throw them out the vocabulary, out the window when you're driving down 75 if you're here in Dallas. Replace them with strong, confident language. Instead of I think this could help, say I'm confident this will help you because. Instead of maybe we could say, here's what we're going to do. Even something as small as replacing, do you have a few minutes to talk with, I like to discuss how we can improve X. That changes the dynamic, guys. And please eliminate unnecessary apologetic language. Don't start an email with, sorry to bother you, just checking in. You're not bothering them. You're bringing them value. So say why you're reaching out with confidence. This isn't about being aggressive or arrogant. It's about conveying certainty and professionalism. I guarantee you your clients will feel safer when you sound sure of yourself. And number 3, speak legacy, not just product. This is the big one, guys. Always connect what you're offering to a larger vision or outcome that matters to the client. Don't just sell a life insurance policy, sell them peace of mind that a family will be protected, that generational impact of breaking the cycle of poverty will happen. The security of knowing that one decision today safeguards their loved ones tomorrow is something that they will appreciate from you forever. Guys, don't just sell a house, sell a home where their kids will grow up. The investment that builds their wealth, the memories they'll create in those walls. If you're selling a car, you're selling the freedom of the open road or the reliability that keeps their family safe on trips. Whatever your product or service frame is, sell it in terms of the legacy it creates, the long-term benefit, the story that goes beyond the transaction. There's a famous marketing saying, says, people don't want to buy 1/4-inch drills. They want to buy a 1/4-inch hole. In other words, folks don't purchase the tool for the tool's sake, y'all. They buy it for the result it gives them. So you need to keep that in mind when you communicate your value. People don't buy the product. They buy the story you're telling them about that product. When you start speaking in terms of legacy, when you start speaking in terms of impact, guys, you elevate yourself from a salesperson to a trusted advisor who genuinely cares about their future. These 3 steps might require some practice, but trust me on this. The transformation that you're going to get is going to yield high results. You'll start noticing quick wins. A client responding more eagerly, a prospect trusting you faster, a negotiation flipping in your favor, all because you tweaked your language. That's how powerful this is. That's how powerful words are. We've covered a lot, so we need to bring this on home. Look at what we've learned today. We started with the biblical blueprint, understanding that words hold the power of life and death, and they set the course of lives in businesses. We explored the psychology of language and how the right words can influence decisions, and how your self-talk shapes your confidence in your outcomes. And then lastly, we saw it in action with examples from Steve Jobs in businesses, as well as Muhammad Ali in sports, and even my own NFL experience, proving that the tongue truly steers the ship. We've talked about legacy, how every conversation is an opportunity to build your reputation for the long haul by speaking with grace and truth. And guess what? You got 3 actionable strategies: auditing your language, replacing weak words, and speaking in terms of legacy and vision. That right there, that's just the playbook, guys. But guess what? It's only paper if you don't put it into use. Now it's on you to take those insights and run with them. Don't just be a hearer, be a doer. The next phone call you make after this video, the next client meeting, even the next conversation with your family, show up with better language. Speak life, speak value, and speak vision. Guys, I need you to remember something. I need you to remember your words today are building the world you'll live in tomorrow. So if you understand this and you get this, you will know that when you change your words and you change your world, you'll change your result and your income. If you can shift your language, you can shift your legacy. Picture yourself a few months from now, reflecting on how far you've come because you've changed the way you speak. Maybe you're closing more deals, getting more referrals, or just feeling more confident every time you pitch. That's the kind of transformation that happens when you consistently speak with purpose and positivity, and one of my favorite words, intention. So I'll leave you guys with this final thought. Your words are the blueprint of your future, and every conversation is a brick in the house you're building. So I need you guys to build wisely, my friends. Listen, if you found value in what you heard today, here's what you need to do next. I need you guys to subscribe to the channel for more insights like these. Don't miss out on the good stuff that will level up your business and your life. Join the Stat Market Masters group on Facebook. I'm going to put the link in the description and have my people put it in the bio as well, right? It's a community of winners, and it's a place to share strategies and for us to grow together. And if you love what I'm speaking to you about right now, then guys, you got to get into my book, Master the Market, Amplifying Value in Life Insurance. Guys, it's your playbook for winning in sales without losing your identity. Especially if you like this topic, you're going to love chapter 3 in the book, which goes even deeper on language and influence. I'm excited to connect with you guys through these channels, as well as be a part of your success journey. Guys, we're building a community of achievers, and I want you to be a part of it. As always, run well, young lions. In lionessness, Tony the Tycoon. I'm out.